In the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful, all of us want to be respected. Respected by whom? All of us want to be respected by others. That is something quite natural, is it? Yes, it is, of course. My dear friends, if at all we want to be respected by others, I think prior to that we need to be respected by we ourselves as well. That is also really, really important that we should be respectful towards we ourselves. That is really, really important, my dear friends. And that is once we are respected by ourselves, the other people will be ready to respect us as well. And on the other hand, at least we will be able to live honorably, we will be able to live peacefully. As for the peace of mind is concerned, the peace of mind will be available to us for only one reason, that we are respecting ourselves. And since we are respecting ourselves, other people will likely respect us. Even if they don't do that, we shall be enjoying the peace of mind. So there's an article which was written by Mark Travers. The Mark Travers here talk about the 5 points. These 5 points, as far these 5 points are concerned, these will help us a lot in becoming a kind of respectful person. Actually, Mark Travers says that you need to develop the self-esteem. The self-esteem is very, very important, and this self-esteem is actually self-respect. And self-respect plus the confidence in one's own worth and abilities. The confidence in one's own worth and abilities is called the self-esteem, and self-esteem is very important, my dear friends. There are 5 points given to us by Mark Travers. Each one of these is very important. We need to understand it and we need to practice it. I believe that if at all we are able to better understand and practice it, we will be able to achieve the self-respect, which is actually the self-esteem. And the self-esteem means confidence in one's own worth and abilities. My dear friends, now let's talk about the 5 points given to us by Mark Travers. First of all, Mark Travers says that cultivate self compassion. Cultivate self compassion. Self compassion is very important. We want others to be compassionate towards us, mean they should be sympathetic towards us. That is nice and really good. The people should be, and we too should also become somewhat compassionate, somewhat sympathetic with toward other people, toward the needy people, toward those people who are physically or emotionally injured. I think that we need to develop a kind of self compassion as well, the compassion for we ourselves as well. Mean, if at all, there will be certainly many a situation, there will be certainly many a points where we were inadequate, where we could not perform well, where we suffered the setbacks, where we suffered the losses, and where we failed. There will be plenty of things like this one in our life, like that of any other person. But in a situation like this one, I think that we need to become, instead of holding a very harsh accountability. I think if at all becoming very harsh with we ourselves, it is better that we develop a kind of self compassion, that we become somewhat sympathetic. We should do whatever we can to get to compensate if at all we have done the bad thing with anyone else, and we should seek forgiveness from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as well. And simultaneously, if at all we have done something wrong with we ourselves, nobody was at loss and it was not a sin, but we have done something which was not good for us, we should learn to forgive us. We need to develop the self compassion. This is the number one point out of Mark Travers' 5 point given to us for developing the self esteem. Number two, Mark Twain says that surround yourself with people who are encouraging and accepting. Surround yourself with the people who are encouraging and accepting. This is really important, my dear friends, that we, instead of putting ourselves amongst those people who don't accept us and who don't encourage us, it is far better if at all we are surrounded by the people who accept us and who encourage us, because this is really, really, really important. And that way we will keep getting the kind of encouragement which will be very helpful, which will be very useful for our building the self-esteem. So surround yourself with the people who are encouraging and accepting. This was the number two, the second point. While the third point is celebrate small wins. Many of us are of the view that I don't have any right to celebrate. I don't have any right to become a happy person. I don't need to reward myself anyway, because I have not actually delivered anything else. I have not actually created something and achieved something of high importance. For that reason, I don't need to become a happy human being. I know to know I don't deserve to celebrate. While actually the truth is that we do need to celebrate us, even the very small wins, even the very small victories must be celebrated. So in this way we will be able to develop a kind of self-respect, self-esteem. This was the point number 3. The point number 4, according to the Mark Trevor, says replace your inner critic with positive affirmations. As for the person is sitting inside us criticizing us, for most of the time we need to remove it. We need to remove the self critic and the criticism we are getting from the inner critic, and instead we need to replace it with word, with a positive affirmation. We need, instead of criticizing us, let's encourage us. Let's try to become even a better person, and it will be possible only if at all we are encouraging and appreciating we ourselves. That is so important. That is really, really, really important, my dear friend. Now the last point, replace yourself. Let me repeat: replace yourself, your inner critic with the positive affirmation, and that much of the horror criticism upon we ourselves must be stopped immediately, and start a positive affirmation. The last point is distance yourself from social media. Social media is not such a good and nice thing at all, my dear friend, although it is somewhat unavoidable at the same time. But we can limit the time we consume in this while we are engaged with this social media. And my dear friend, not only this thing, we need to pay good amount of attention to the time of to the type of content we are reading or watching, because if at all we are getting the negative thing, it will adversely affect our life. And now a very quick revision about all what just have been said within only 30 seconds. What is We need to develop the self-respect and our self-esteem. The self-esteem is confidence in one's own worth or abilities, and that is also called self-respect. Mark Travers says that we need to create 5 things. First of all, Mark Travers is a psychologist. He offered 5 healthy habits to improve your self-esteem. Mark Travers is a psychologist who has offered us 5 healthy habits to improve our self-esteem. First of all, cultivate self-compassion. Number 2, surround yourself with the people who are encouraging and accepting. Number 3, celebrate your small wins. Number 4, replace your inner critic with positive affirmation. Number 5, distance yourself from social media. So that is something really very important for all of us who are interested in creating a kind of self-esteem.